Fakest moves in all of wrestling part 2. You know, I really didn't think we were gonna make it to this video. But you know what? Screw it, let's do it.
You know, you actually shouldn't do this because fake is a very offensive word in pro wrestling.
I mean, yeah, it's a predetermined sport, so I think you're taking this too serious. It's all fake.
You can keep all those dumbass comments to yourself because I don't give a fuck. Matter of fact, part 1, link in the description. But anywho, the top 10 fakest moves in pro wrestling. Part 2. Number 10. Okay, we can't really call this a move, but it's still egregious. Comebacks. John Cena, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, and plenty other names are guilty of committing this atrocity. Because don't get me wrong, I am all for a good babyface comeback. But when your comeback is so repetitive and predictable that it becomes a trope in a video game? When do we say, okay, maybe it's time to switch it up? We had to watch grown-ass motherfuckers get shoulder blocked by John Cena acting like they didn't know another one was coming. Randy with the clothesline. Like, come on, brother, you don't see the other one coming. And you can't tell the power slam's coming, bro. Have you not seen an Orton match? The concept of a comeback is so dumb to me because the opponents have to act like they don't know what's coming. Do you know how turnt I would have been if after Hulk Hogan hits his punches and then finally points the finger, somebody just grabs it and Pete Dunne snaps that bitch? Swear to, I would have done a standing moonsault. Oh no, when CM Punk ducked one of John Cena's shoulder blocks, I damn near did a 630 in the air and landed on my feet. Like, finally, somebody with some common sense.
Well, sir, that's just one of the common tropes of pro wrestling. It's entertaining. It actually builds to when somebody actually reverses the comeback.
Or, here's an idea. Wrestlers can do a comeback that's not memorized by every fan in the stand, and when there's a counter, it's even more unexpected. Oh, I wasted so much brain power on that. I know nobody will ever agree with me on that topic, so you know what? We're just gonna move on to the next one y'all are never gonna agree with me with. Number 9, the suplex. Yes, sir, I'm talking about the regular suplex. Bro, there's the Northern Light suplex, a fisherman suplex, a front face lock suplex, a German suplex. Hell, I'll take a scoop slam and a back body drop. How this abortion of a move was born is wild to me. What is the logic in putting your opponent's arm around your neck so you can get him over you, when you could easily just belly to belly him over your head? You're asking for a counter. Like real life, Roman gon' have you on lock. I'm literally down with every variation of a suplex besides the original suplex. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, this shit literally only exists because of pro wrestling, and it's just like, why? A stalling suplex is super egregious because the amount of cooperation you need to maintain that balance, stop it. And that goes for the brain buster too, which is why I'm so grateful for the 1916 and the paradigm shift. That I can see happening, but this is never gonna go away. This is gonna plague wrestling for the rest of its life. But once again, like I said, y'all will never agree with me, so let's just move on to number 8. Number 8. Y'all can never say I play favoritism because this one hurts. The GTS. Before the riot comes, calm down. Just let me explain. It's not entirely the GTS itself, it's who does it. If the GTS was done by a wrestler like Samoa Joe, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But CM Punk, let's talk about it. Now, when Punk hits it on guys relatively his size or smaller, I don't really have a problem with it. But when you see something like this, the eyes have got to get to rolling. There's no way. As much as I like John Cena and CM Punk matches, he barely gets by doing it to Cena. But when we gets to doing it to Kane, Umaga, JBL's fat ass. There has got to be a little element of, come on, bro, do we look stupid? Brody is not pushing that man up and catching him with the knee. No way. And absolutely no hate, because y'all know Punk is my GOAT. Well, under Kurt Angle, of course. But anyways, like I said, if it was done by somebody like Brian Cage, you know, I would actually fuck with a GTS. But, you know, Punk be doing too much sometimes. Like, be real, tell me y'all aren't just gonna roll your eyes when CM Punk hits Drew McIntyre's big, muscular, Herculean built ass with a GTS. Like, dog, you are not built like that. McIntyre, we cannot let this happen. You're too big for this man. Make him think outside the box. No GTS. He's done it before against Mark Henry. Okay, moving on. Number 7, and this is really just gonna be a double whammy, the End of Days / Sister Abigail. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. But seriously, look at this thing. The End of Days. Explain to me how this is logical. He pulls you in, stops, dips you like it's a dance routine, and then sits backwards and you go flying back. Off the dip, you're fucked. And the Sister Abigail, look, it's not as bad when you do it fast, but when you're sitting there holding them like this is mid-baptism, I don't think we can justify. And for the nerds deep off in their mother's basement, yes, this is also the Switchblade, or whatever Jay White calls his finish. And don't worry guys, it's just as fake when he does it. Like seriously, the whole move is cooked. You're not gonna dip somebody and then spin them onto their face. Just like they're not gonna hold onto your arm like the bar of a roller coaster with the End of Days. A lot of cooperation needed for this move, so I'm sorry, it had to make the list. Please don't hate me. And again, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt, we miss you. And now, number 6, I'm about to get banned from Texas. The Stunner. Now, whoa there, cowboys. Before you get to drawing your guns, let me ask y'all this. As a kid, how many of y'all hit that Stone Cold Stunner and not only realize that they're not going to spring up like a crackhead, but they're also going to remove your arms from around their neck and proceed to give you the beat? And that's if you get to the Stunner part. The second you reach out and try to grab somebody like you Stone Cold, the back of that nugget is eating some knuckles. A very high amount of cooperation in this move. Gotta give Stone Cold his respect, but we gotta keep it real. The Stunner, yeah, it's not happening. What is happening is number 5. The Styles Clash. I have begged for years, I mean years, for AJ Styles to either hit a belly to back inverted slam or hell, at least a neutralizer. Simply pick them up and drop them on their face. What is this? First violation, you're not doing this without getting kicked in the face every time. Second violation, there is no convincing way to have your arms trapped like this. He is clearly just getting in position. This level of cooperation is down treacherous. We cannot just ignore the process of the move and just focus on how the move ends. Bro, we see you down there getting your arms in position. Stop this. There are ways around these logic holes. Y'all just have to use your brain. But you know what? Enough on AJ Styles. He's got a title match to focus on. Speaking of which, number 4, the Crossroads. Now, I'm gonna be real, when Cody Rhodes was the GOAT, the original Cody Rhodes, I let it slide. But now that he's this absolute fraud, I'm all for it. The Crossroads is fake as shit. Because again, back to the gang that used to wrestle with the homies as kids, who tried to do this move and realized it is a clusterfuck to try to do without cooperation. Look! Bet money, you try to do this to somebody, they're falling dead on top of you. And then what happens after that? You're cooked. You getting hit with straight yams and whams now. I mean, all this cooperation is treacherous. You have to jump and spin for Cody? This is straight down Dirty Diana. And now that he's fraudulent, it's even worse. Somebody stop him. He can't keep getting away with this. Y'all know I despise Cody, so before I go too far, let's move on to the next. Oh wait, Cody's in here too. Number 3. All diving cutters. Cody Cutter, Sammy Cutter, Oz Cutter, even the new homie on NXT. And you know what? We'll even add in the lethal injection. Every one of them is just simply egregious. Every time their opponent gets hit with this nonsense, they have to sit there with the IQ of a Tyrannosaurus and just catch a falling cutter. First off, what is the logic in diving backward? This has got to be one of the dumbest moves ever made. I know there is a sea of nerds that just love these moves. But for that sea, there is an ocean of motherfuckers rolling their eyes at this nonsense. No way dude is just sitting there and he gets caught with this. This shouldn't even be how they land. Cooperation is meant to be hidden in pro wrestling. This exposes. And let's not get started on the poor lethal injection, because I ain't gonna lie, we all knew the lethal injection was cooked after he got hit with that Rochambeau. Rochambeezy got a nigga feeling wheezy. That boy's sick and he is queasy. That was absolutely nasty work. After a counter like that, you have got to retire the move. I swear to, every one of these diving cutters is getting hit with that Samoa Joe sidestep. You got me messed up. Why do I have to look at you? You got me out here looking goofy. I can't do it, I can't stand it, and I won't stand for it. Garbage. Throw the whole move away. Uh-oh, we're getting close to the end. Number 2, the kill switch. And haha, my parents are alive. You can't come for me. But hey, if you want to argue about this, do it. Do it to somebody, please. By all means, prove me wrong. This move has so much cooperation, it hurts. Because there's no way possible you're getting this set up. Like, how did he even do that? Even if you get through the part where you do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around, they're pushing you off. I mean, it could be straight sleeper hold city from there. You are setting yourself up for failure. Since the long hair got to be one of the fakest moves I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking absolutely down bad. Hello? Oh, hey mom, how you been? No, you know, nothing much, just making a video. You said you got to meet a wrestler. Man, you couldn't have done that when I was a kid. That would have been lit. Who'd you meet? Christian Cage? Oh, he wants to come over for dinner. Is Dad home? Dad's got an overnight business trip. Excuse me. Christian, I'm sorry. It was a joke. I'm taking it off the list now. Please don't do this. Number 1. Drum roll, please. The 21 play.
Oh, come on, man. You're not gonna put the 619 in part 1, but you're gonna make this number 1 in part 2? What kind of nonsense is this?
No, sir. They are not the same. I simply cannot let this slide. Not even gonna say anything. Just look. What is this supposed to be? Sir, why are you holding the ropes? And why are you letting this man completely contort his body over you just to backflip back over you and hit you with a German suplex? This is a finisher, and it's an overcomplicated, glorified German suplex. I'm supposed to respect that. Bandito, my brother, my hombre, need to go back to the drawing board and try again with this finisher nonsense, because with this, oh, you did not cook. You're actually banned from the kitchen. This is absolute belligerent behavior. How the fuck does a move like this pop off in your head and you say, yeah, that's it? Do y'all even consider the process before the end result anymore? Does nobody have that one quick thought in their head of, no, if I do this to my opponent, he's gonna look like a dipshit? No, nobody does. Everybody just comes up with all these crazy moves that look so cool, but look goddamn ridiculous while you do them. Need to throw this move into Neptune's garbage disposal under the ocean. And you know what? Before I end the video, I already know somebody's gonna say, why don't you have the curb stomp on here? The curb stomp is fake as shit. Because sometimes, yeah, they're egregious, but sometimes Rollins be hitting them hoes. But the sheer concept of stomping somebody's face into the ground is so deadly that he had to stop doing it. Which is why he all of a sudden started hitting the pedigree out of nowhere. So I'll take your hate for this curb stomp and I'll raise you a kiss my ass.